For more on this, we're now joined by Emfuleni spokesperson Makhosonke Sangweni, and he joins us via our telephone line. Makhosonke, thank you so much for your time this evening. I'm sure you've just seen or heard that insert we've just played for our SABC viewers. Why is this businessman being frustrated to try and help the community of Sharpeville by actually building them houses?
Yeah, good evening, my sister. I just didn't get your name, but good evening to you and your viewers. I first have to greet you. But to just correct this, it's not true that they are frustrated. First and foremost, it's not true. Right? For everything, municipalities by nature, they are a legislated animal. So we need to follow legislation and process. For example, we are aware that there is some good Samaritan, as they say, that is offering an opportunity to establish a new township. But when you establish a new township, there are processes. The process alone of application can take to a minimum of 2 years. And it's well known by the offerers who want to establish a township. For example, you make an application. When you make an application, by the way, the land in which they want to make an application, one is a private land, but secondly, it was an agricultural land. And when you want to go and build and establish anything, be it township or anything that besides the agricultural land, you obviously need to send surveyors to make sure that they make an assessment. And then after making an assessment, those professional surveyors, that's when now they can make a recommendation. And then once the recommendation is made, that's when the application then can be considered by the municipality. And there are processes in the municipality in terms of how you get to the end of concluding the process of establishing or approving it.
And perhaps maybe you can give us a bit of insight there and clarity when it comes to those who are meant to benefit from this housing project. What has caused delays with this specific project?
Yeah, the first thing that we must correct, because I just saw in the insert, one, if you look there in the insert, there's already structures that were built there, that were built there. And those structures are illegal. We must state that in front, that they are illegal because, one, the place has not yet been rezoned. As I say to you, that the place that they want to establish a township was agricultural land, first and foremost. But secondly, there are a number of stakeholders that have a role to play according to our special planning and land use management of bylaws. For example, you need to consult other stakeholders. The first and foremost, to consult the people who are in the surrounding areas. They must be allowed to have comments. Some of them they may obviously reject it. Some of them will welcome it, depending on the neighborhood that they have done. And there has been some neighbors who are farmers there who have had a problem, complaining that when you bring a township there will be issues like devaluing of their farms and their house and all that. So you can't, first and foremost, ignore that. You need to take that into consideration. But two, there are also other stakeholders that are external stakeholders, which has nothing to do actually with the municipality. For example, you need Department of Health to be involved. You need Land Clean Commission to be involved. You need Transnet, PRASA to be involved. You need Department of Defense, the district to be involved, Gauteng Province, and many other stakeholders for them to make their comments as well. Because, as I said to you, for example, there's a railway close to that area, number one. So we need to know, this railway, has it been working before? Is working? Is it conducive that you can put human beings and establish a township so that it can be used by human beings? So you need to determine that. So it's a process that all the stakeholders must make their comment, and then you consolidate in one process. And then over and above that, except that now we have established a land tribunal, which is a committee that deals with such issues and then issues of consolidation. Some of the people have made comments, some of them have not yet brought their report. But some of them have received the report, and most of the reports that we have received, there's been so far positive. But obviously, we can't jump stages. And we have been very clear, including with the involved parties, that we want to collaborate with them, want to work with them, and there's no way we can refuse development that seeks to help our people, as it has been put in the inset or as it has been propagated. So we need also to be very clear about that.
And I mean,
the only thing is that this process is a process.
Yeah, and these beneficiaries, they've been on waiting lists for RDP houses for a number of years, and they are hoping to get into a home as soon as possible. Can you assure them how long can they wait now for this project to be approved so that construction can get underway? Because you are saying that most of the response that you have received has been quite positive for the building of these homes.
You see, I may not give an exact date as to when, but all I can say is that, as I've said, minimum of this process to finalize them and this application can take minimum of 2 years. And the process only started last year. I think the first discussion were first made aware of this process in the municipality on the 10th of May. That's on the 5th of March, but on the 10th of May, that's when we formally discussed the process. As I said to you, we will do our best to make sure that it's resolved as soon and as quickly as possible.
And I mean,
commitment that we make, but I can't then say to you that at this date it will be done and everything else will be concluded. But we have already communicated with our tribunal committee to say there is a need for you to fast track this process, because the municipality is made as if it's people who don't care, who don't want to be accommodated to the affected victims and many other communities that will be beneficiaries to this process.
How concerned are you about the housing backlog, especially in the Emfuleni municipalities?
A democratic government will always be concerned about anything that seeks to develop people and beneficiate our people. So obviously, if they are affected poor members of the community, will obviously always be concerned. And that is why I was saying this opportunity, when it comes and there are people who, South African citizens who want to lend a helping hand, will obviously want to collaborate with them and work with them, because they are helping us also in making sure that we achieve the prosperity of our people. So there's no way that we can stand against it. The only unfortunate part is that there's miscommunication and misunderstanding about the process, because the communication to victims now is as if that the municipality is a stumbling block in this process, which is not true.
And have you communicated this, especially to the community there, which are or who are waiting to have their homes built?
Look, we only picked up, I think, this year to say that the beneficiaries, some of the beneficiaries, with those who were affected in the Sharpeville Massacre and the Makhosonke Massacre. So yes, the people who have been communicating with them, it's the Good Samaritans that have offered to help and intervene in the process. So everything else that we need to communicate to them, we have been communicating with them. So in our view, we thought that is their responsibility to also cascade the message down to the affected victims.
Makhosonke, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. That is Makhosonke Sangweni. He is the spokesperson for the Emfuleni municipalities.